I thought he looked good. It was good to get him out there. It certainly energizes the team when you get a chance to get your starting quarterback back out there. So I thought he looked good.
Is the plan for him to do exactly what he did yesterday, more or less?
Yeah, it'll be very similar.
Zach, since we aren't physically watching the entire practice, and there's no injury report yet, is he still kind of in a limited fashion, or is he full go?
Yeah, we're just taking it day to day with how we're going to integrate him in there.
When y'all are looking at acclimating him ahead of the season opener, what are the things that you're looking for to make sure that you feel comfortable putting more load on him to get ready for that week 1?
I don't think there's a defined checklist that we need to see. Again, it was just good to get him out there with the team and calling plays in the huddle and all that good stuff at practice. So I think that was encouraging for everybody.
Was it key to get him in maybe this week so you have these 2 practices before the long weekend, before game week?
We've had a timeline that we've operated by for a while now, and this is just part of that timeline.
How often was he able to work out and throw during recovery? Was it semi-frequently, frequently?
I think he's done a great job making sure that he's ready to go when his number was called.
How do you describe the job Bose and his staff did here over the past 35-plus days on this one?
Yeah, I wouldn't. I'd give praise to Joey Bose and Matt Summers and Nick Cosgray and the whole training staff and the whole strength staff. I think our players have a lot of confidence in those guys, and again, that's a key thing is those 2 departments working together, with great chemistry and great communication, and that's what we have from Matt Summers and his staff and Joey Bose and his staff, and so they're both big pieces of the puzzle of rehabbing players like Joe, and very, very confident in both their abilities, and they've just done a great job, not only with Joe, but several other players we've had over the years. And so that's probably one of the relationships you don't get a chance to see behind this. Obviously, you guys don't get a chance to see that, but I think it's critical to highlight that and the confidence our players have in those 2 departments led by those 2 men.
Zach, how important is it to get the timing down? Obviously, the physical element is one part of it, but the timing between not only for Joe to feel comfortable, but for his teammates to reacclimate if that's necessary.
Yeah, it's important. Every quarterback's a little bit different, how the ball comes out of the hands and the timing, and it didn't look like he'd missed many practices.
I know Joe's so good at ad-libbing, it's a big part of his game. You guys had conversations about just trying to dial that back until he really is fully ready to get going?
Just take it day to day. It was good to get him out there yesterday, and again, we'll continue to work through every single day that we got before this game.
Do you have an update on Joseph Osai?
I don't have an update today. I'll probably learn more this afternoon.
What did you like about Will Greer? What did it say to you that was told he was cut and to go out and play the way he did in that last preseason game?
Yeah, I think we followed him ever since he came out in the process and was in Carolina and in Dallas, and so he's somebody that's always been on our radar. And thought he had an exceptional most recent game. There were some great things that we've seen from him elsewhere as well, and think he's a good personality fit in our room. A guy that we want to continue to work with. So very excited to get him. Very excited that he chose to come here, and so excited to see what he's about more in the upcoming weeks.
How big of a factor?
A little bit.
I'll come back to you one second.
How big of a factor was it that he decided to play in that final preseason game? Obviously, he played well, but you kind of knew he was out in Dallas, but wanted to play.
Sure. Yeah, I'd love to give him credit. You also know that that's an opportunity to showcase yourself too. And he did a great job, and I'm sure there was a lot of emotions going into that. And so just handling those emotions and the preparation leading up and pregame and all that. But then he just went out there and did all the things that showed why he was drafted where he was drafted. And again, just my 24 hours with him so far, really excited to have him here. And again, we got to ease him into this process. He's showing up day 1 of the season basically, and there's a lot. I mean, reading the script yesterday was Cleveland preparation. Probably, that's a lot of stuff. But we'll get him back to the basics so he can learn offense the right way and be able to compete at the right time. Dave, sorry.
I was just asking about development. Talk about him.
Yeah, a guy that we've always monitored coming out of UCLA and his time in Cleveland the last 2 years. And so excited to be able to add a guy like that to our practice squad and see what he can do for us over the next couple weeks.
With Burrow kind of putting the injury completely aside, is there anything you're looking forward to seeing or excited to see from Burrow in year 4?
Winning.
Zach, is the expectation for him to go to start week 1?
We're just taking it day to day right now.
How's his mobility been? And being able to scramble, obviously, is that something that he's able to do well? Is that something you have to monitor? Is that part of the easing process as well? how mobile he is?
I think all that's been part of the rehab plan with Matt and Joey, and they've done a great job monitoring that as he's gone.
You mentioned the third down running back gig being a competition kind of still the other day. When you get into the season, is that still a competition, or would you like it to be, a guy is picked and they're going to be the guy for week one and for a full game rather than could a competition go into regular season games?
I think just the way it's played out, especially with Trayvon's injury that limited him, he was a guy that was making really great progress in a lot of areas leading up to that. And so we want to see what he's about. He still gets an opportunity to do that. I'm not going to say that it's nailed down and this is the way it's going to be all season once we make the game one decision. I think it needs to be a fluid situation for us where these guys know that there's potential to continue to improve, to get more opportunity. The game week doesn't always present a lot of great times to be able to work on that and win that battle, but we're going to do our best to continue to factor in every rep, every bit of preparation, every question they can answer on the protections and the protection meetings. And so again, that's all stuff that will weigh in as we continue to go from week to week.
With third downs, kind of in those situations, like running back and tight end almost kind of hand in hand, how much is the dynamic between those two spots maybe a part of what you think, kind of those two guys will be out there on third downs? Then kind of do some similar things?
They can. You can use a tight end in that role. I wouldn't put those two. It's almost a little bit opposite. Third down, you're looking for the pass catcher, the route runner as a tight end. At times, you're doing that at running back too. With matchups you want. So I wouldn't say it's totally the same philosophy in terms of how you look at those two roles on third down. But there's certainly times where our tight ends have been back there and been the running back and been in protection. And there's times that our tight ends do come back there as an extra, as a seventh protector to be able to do that. So I gave you a around the world answer there, but there's a lot to it.
How much can Deontay and Jackson make each other better? I mean, do you see that kind of going to Paul's question about the third down back? Could those two kind of be in competition as the season progresses?
Oh, yeah.
Third tackle.
Oh, yeah, we've done that. We did that at the beginning of last season. As I looked through the inactives that we have, our guys competed. Frank is hard on those guys during scout team periods to continue to get their work in. And so, again, that competition will continue to be ongoing amongst all the offensive linemen. Just because you feel like you're slotted at this spot as the season starts, that does not mean that'll stay put throughout the season. Frank does a great job of making those guys work all year. So I know you had one.
How much does the opponent factor into the third down back? Because, as you said, it might be a fluid situation week to week.
Sure. That will play into it at some point. Again, we're just going to make the best decisions to start the season out the right way, week one. As the season goes, inactives fluctuate sometimes based on who we're playing. I'm not just talking about running back. I'm talking about 5D tackles as opposed to 5D ends. And so there's a lot of things that factor into who the opponent is and who's going to be up or down, just roster-wise.
Zach, in your mind, what is the next step or next level for this offense this year?
Keep playing in January and February. That's our goal is to continue to have great seasons where we put ourselves in that position, and that's as a team. So, again, as an offense, you're just always trying to score points, keep the defense off the field, and make their job easier. As a team, our goal has always been be at the forefront of the division because, like I've said before, that gives you the best path into the playoffs. And this division is the best in football. And when you come out, you're battle tested. And so, again, that's just as a team, that's what our focus always is.
Coach, even though Michael Thomas and Stanley are not on the active practice squad, does that change their role in the locker room on the practice field? Or?
No, it does not change the role in the locker room whatsoever. It does not change on the practice field a little bit. They don't get as many reps as maybe they would be if they were active on the 53. Just because you got other guys that we're going to play in the game, but they've got plenty of game experience. They're there if needed. Like I've said before, I don't really look at the roster anymore as a 53-man roster. It's a 69-man roster with 21 inactives. And so, again, those guys are always available. Same as you look at Cleveland, you look at Baltimore, like all those guys off the practice squad can come up in a drop of the hat. So you can't pencil them in as this amount of players at a position. And Stanley and Mike certainly fall into that for us.
I mean, it looks like the best of both worlds. You get young, but you don't sacrifice the better leadership
I feel really good about how things have shaken out for us, and feel like we've got a lot of depth just overall in the 69 guys that are here.
Are the contract discussions?
68, I guess. Sorry. Yeah.
Are the contract discussions with the team in Burrow, are they still at the same level that they were before training camp and preseason?
That one's not for me to answer.